And finally, new rule, Melania Trump must do what dozens of buildings around the world have done and take the Trump name off. Melania Trump has been in the news a lot lately. I was talking about her in the monologue, and she's on the cover of Us Weekly with this cover, my side of the story. Because there's another former model who's also married to a super rich Republican monster, Mrs. Rupert Murdoch, Jerry Hall.
In the next few minutes, you're gonna see how one comedian's jokes about Melania Trump and Laura Loomer sparked a $150 million legal firestorm. We'll break down Maher's roast, Trump's tantrum, and the White House's surprising response. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video, but that's not all. We'll also dive into the bigger picture. Is political comedy under threat? Are public figures fair game for jokes? And could this lawsuit change the face of late night TV as we know it? Buckle up, folks. This ride's about to get bumpy. Bill Maher's latest comedy routine is like a wrecking ball aimed straight at Trump's love life.
It's not anti-feminist to say that in addition to doing everything men can do intellectually, women also have another power. The power of the ultimatum. Melania Trump has been in the news a lot lately. I was talking about her in the monologue, and she's on the cover of Us Weekly with this cover, my side of the story. Maybe it falls to you now, Melania. You can end this reign of terror, and all you have to do is channel your inner Taylor Swift and walk out the door. And you two have a lot in common. Your husbands are ruining the world.
The comedian didn't pull any punches when he took on Melania Trump's supposed rules for her husband. Maher joked that Melania has a list of demands for the Donald, including, you are not to leave your girdle on the bathroom floor. I mean, who knew the former president needed fashion advice? But Maher didn't stop there. He went on to imagine more of Melania's rules, like, you are not allowed to eat Wendy's in bed, and when I say I love you, do not reply with, you're welcome. It's like he's painting a picture of Trump as a messy, fast food loving toddler who needs constant supervision. Talk about a golden cage for poor Melania. Then Maher dropped a bombshell, suggesting Laura Loomer has an arranged relationship with Trump. Yikes! He even did a whole bit called Who's Trump Funking, which probably had the audience squirming in their seats. It's like Maher decided to turn Trump's love life into a twisted game show. This isn't new territory for Maher. Remember when he offered Trump $5 million to prove his dad wasn't an orangutan? That little joke landed Maher in hot water with a lawsuit from Trump. Seems like Maher's got a taste for pushing Trump's buttons, and he's not afraid to go below the belt. Experts say Maher's style of comedy is like walking a tightrope in today's political climate. He's not just trying to make people laugh, he's taking a sledgehammer to the carefully crafted image of politicians like Trump. It's like he's daring them to react, and boy, did he get a reaction this time. Maher's roast didn't just stop at Trump's relationships. He went on a no-holds-barred comedy rampage, targeting everything from Trump's appearance to his diet. It's like he was determined to leave no stone unturned, no matter how personal or controversial. But while some people were laughing, others were reaching for their lawyers. Turns out, not everyone appreciates Maher's brand of humor, and that's where our story takes an unexpected turn.
And finally, new rule, Melania Trump must do what dozens of buildings around the world have done and take the Trump name off. And we got a hold of Melania's. It's not in this magazine, but it's coming out soon. Would you like to hear Melania's 25 things you didn't know about? Toss his boxy clown suits on the front lawn. Just tell him, I'm leaving you and I'm taking our child. He would be stunned. We have a child? But they left out my favorite feature in Us Weekly, which is the 25 things you don't know about me. Do you read about this?
Just when you thought the Trump-Maher comedy feud couldn't get any wilder, enter Laura Loomer with a $150 million plot twist. But here's the kicker. This legal drama might just redefine the limits of political humor. Are we witnessing the death of satire, or is this just another day in Trump's America? Looks like Laura Loomer isn't laughing at Bill Maher's jokes. Instead, she's slapping him with a massive lawsuit that's got everyone talking. Her lawyer, Larry Klayman, is throwing around some big words, calling Maher a known Trump hater and accusing him of trying to mess with Trump's street cred. It's like a schoolyard fight, but with fancy suits and even fancier legal jargon. So what's got Loomer's panties in a bunch? Well, she's claiming Maher's little joke about her having an arranged relationship with Trump isn't just a joke, it's straight up defamation. Clayman's arguing that people might actually believe this stuff. I mean, come on folks, do we really think Trump's love life is that organized? But here's where it gets interesting. If Loomer wins this case, it could be bad news for Maher and HBO.
But they left out my favorite feature in Us Weekly, which is the 25 things you don't know about me. Do you read about this? What if she had someone to do it with? Divorce is always easier in pairs. What if you had a buddy, Melania? You are not to ever again mention the bride catalog's return policy. Your unhappiness is obvious. You despise his creepy little monkey fingers touching your hand. The Melania's list. I don't know if you'd like to... But these are her rules.
We're talking major cash and maybe even a muzzle on Maher's sharp tongue. It's like trying to put a leash on a wild comedian. Good luck with that. This isn't the first time a comedian's landed in hot water for their jokes. Remember when Trump sued Maher for joking that his dad was an orangutan? Talk about a hair-raising situation. These cases show just how tricky it can be to prove defamation when it comes to comedy. It's like trying to nail Jell-O to a wall, like slippery and messy. But here's the thing, courts usually give comedians a lot of wiggle room, especially when it comes to political jokes. It's like they're saying, hey, it's just comedy, don't take it so seriously. But Loomer's case could change all that. It's like she's trying to draw a line in the sand of what's okay to joke about. Could this be the end of no holds barred political comedy? And just when you thought this couldn't get any juicier, the White House decides to join the party. They're not too happy about Trump hanging out with Loomer. It's like the popular kids telling Trump he can't sit with them if he's friends with the class clown. So how did Trump respond to all this drama? In true Trump fashion, of course. He basically shrugged and said, "Loomer who?" Okay, not exactly, but he did say he didn't know much about her, just that she's a big fan of the campaign. Talk about a lukewarm endorsement. But wait, there's more drama in this comedy saga.
Because there's another former model who's also married to a super rich Republican monster, Mrs. Rupert Murdoch, Jerry Hall. Getting men to change their destructive ways by threatening to leave them, humiliate them, or cut them off in bed. The man who got Trump elected and keeps his base ignorant. The man who killed Australia's carbon tax. I know he's rich, but is it worth Western civilization? Harry, you're married to the man who runs Fox News. You're married to the man who made Brexit happen. So far, over a dozen Republican candidates tried to stop Trump and couldn't. Hillary couldn't, never.
So where does this leave us? Comedians might need to think twice before dropping their next zinger. It's like they're walking on eggshells, but the eggshells are lawsuits waiting to happen. Is this the beginning of the end for no holds barred political comedy? Maybe. Or maybe it's just a bump in the road for folks like Maher who've made a career out of poking the political bear. But here's a thought. What if comedians decided to play it safe? Imagine a world where late night hosts stick to knock knock jokes. Knock knock. Who's there? Orange. Orange who? Orange, you glad I didn't make fun of your spray tan? Yeah, doesn't quite have the same punch, does it? Let's hope it doesn't come to that. After all, laughter is the best medicine. Unless you're Trump, then it's probably McDonald's.